Just when the second goal went in, the first thing I may catch up when I was watching the ball, they said, the icing on the effing cake. Yes, that's exactly what it was. And now I watch the ball now because it is another big game. Another game, my friend of banana skin game that Chelsea has been able to go through successfully unscathed. In fact, for this one, also defensively, very, very resolute. It was a match. See, before that Chelsea ever match, two things had happened. Fulham had given Chelsea two gifts week in, week out. The week before, they had a ball draw. Then just this week, on a team, your friend of Liverpool and so a ball draw. Then the same weekend time and Liverpool and Fulham a ball draw. Now Everton so yeah, Chelsea near Everton bebo. But we kept on saying say Chelsea match on a Nottingham Forest bebo. It's on a Brentford bebo. It's probably the most difficult of all of the set of games at Chelsea bebo in this round of match. They need to be careful. Also, even away from that, in the context of history and historical antithesis, in the context of that, in the conversation of football, Brentford is successful in playing against Chelsea. In recent times, Stamford Bridge, they get the results that they want to get consistently. In fact, the last time it was 4-1, very shambolic. And Mikacho said, this is going to be a tough game. But in the pre-match analysis, everything that we did point out, that Niemani expected did go on and happen. In fact, away from the team, away from where they are, their big plus to Chelsea going into this is that Chelsea are bought against stubborn teams and they've managed to get a job done. Also, the fact that Enzo Maresca team here, how he tweaks his game. And I'll tell you about the three specific things that Enzo Maresca here in tweaking Chelsea's shape in possession to take advantage of Nottingham Forest for. And then when the game became transitional, the things Enzo Maresca did do, he was spot on. But let's listen to this. First of all, it is the job of Thomas Frank and how good he is as a manager in building up teams, structures, manipulating presses. And until everybody was worried. In fact, time a starting lineup no Ebaye, next Chelsea against team and friend Brentford. The first big question was that, can Chelsea get their personnel right? Can Enzo Maresca get a personnel right? Time team news nearby a pen and say, wow, Chelsea are in serious trouble. Now, why am I saying this? By the time the second, the starting lineup nearby, Chelsea were without a branch friend Benoit Belachile. You be saying Enzo Maresca say now, and a branch friend Benoit Belachile in training. FLA is something in his abductor, and then of course he is not going to go on and play in some match. Still, not Chelsea out with a branch friend Mihailo Modric, still not in the team. Still, a branch friend Romeo Lavia, honestly in the team. In fact, the positive is that Enzo Maresca did mention himself for Romeo Lavia. He is going to come in and play in the next game at Chelsea or English Premier League game. So there isn't too much of a worry. But for Benoit Belachile, he doesn't know when Benoit is going to come in and play for Chelsea because Benoit has an injury. It means that Tosin Adrebiayo will slot in. Mekacho said my biggest worry with the absence of Wesley Fofana and in the presence of Tosin Adrebiayo team is the lack of aggression. In fact, in the pre-match analysis, I had pointed out that one of the most important things in breaking down a team like Brentford is you being aggressive enough to press, counter press, and then be in their faces. How do you get that job done with a very relaxed, calm personality in Tosin Adrebiayo? But then I was surprised. We went into the game and then he pushed, Enzo Maresca pushed a Brentford friend Levi Cole to left centre back and about Tosin Adrebiayo as CCB to be calm, composed on the ball. And you see, I've said several times here, one of the things that Enzo Maresca doesn't particularly get credit for is what we call the player profiling. So watch Enzo Maresca teams, and in recent times, you have Enzo Maresca consistently playing with certain players in certain zones. And to get the best out of players, you need to be able to profile the players very, very well. You need to be able to profile them very well in that regard. And in profiling a Brentford friend of Tosin Adrebiayo, it was the best thing to do. Chelsea was able to play a Brentford friend Tosin Adrebiayo as a CCB and about Levi Cole as the LCB. Then played Malo Gusto as the RCB. Then inverted Marco Correa. But really, that was the most important thing because Brentford for air ball in a 5-3-2 without the ball. Very compact. Chelsea fought right break them down. They come back to the back, congest the middle of the pack. So then The only opening was in the wide areas. That's why throughout the game, Noni Madueke Kenya the most touches on the ball from wide areas. Same for Jadon Sancho. And then the chances to break down Brentford for them were falling to Noni and their Brentford friend Jadon Sancho because they were getting most of the ball. Not ball a bomb and some pound ball. Not ball a bomb and some else sound because the only openings were in wide areas. In fact, centrally, Pinot Kumu were doing a very good job with winning aerial duels, being aggressive. I mean, any signing, but it was an important one for them. And you can even tell it from the kind of goal Brian Mbeumo will share later in the game. We'll talk about those details later. But then really, it was the wide areas. But two, the most important thing was how Enzo Maresca used a branch friend Marco Correa. Now, Correa's job in this game was to invert from left back to go into the double pivot with Maresca Caicedo. Senebeya, Enzo Fernandez is going to be the +1 in build-up. Brentford, yes, Ombabe press here. We always have a +1. So, okay, in the beginning of the game, from the first half, Chelsea consistently, Chelsea were able to play through team and your friend Brentford. They were able to always find the free man in Enzo Fernandez. They were always able to find Obi and then play out from the back, find options, win the ball in that area, setting zones, Enzo. And like I said, Enzo Fernandez development now has gone to the top-notch level in the sense that almost every game, so Enzo Gibor, even in the half space, he is able to play forward. He doesn't cut back. He doesn't play back into the team. Consistently, he plays forward. He gets the ball, plays forward, and then lets the play flows through him. And it's a very, very good thing for a player beats Brantia, your friend Enzo Fernandez. And it was very important in breaking down a Ifon. But you see, the key was that Chelsea are moving from the first days of build-up. Now, moving a bit more progressive. If you're able to progress from there, say, Brentford for number be normal boy, number 5 back. Now, how then do you break them down? That is why for Marco Correa, his role over there was to help in build-up. But Chelsea here do in the final third, he vacates that zone, leave Moises Caicedo, like I'm showing in annotation of the video there. In the left half space, I was at the the game went on. Chelsea had some chances. Chelsea were trying to open up Brentford for it was a tough game in that regard. But again, it is the very, very good ability of Enzo Maresca. And I've said several times here, a lot of teams about 3-2-5 maybe. A lot of the teams about even 3-1-6 against the teams. In fact, last season, against teams like this, Pochettino will throw on more players to play a 3-1-6 to try and stretch Brentford. But they don't like the presence in the box. What Enzo Maresca did was simple. Always get +1. Always +1. It should be very rotational. And another Ange Postecoglou friend, the rigid fluidity. So it's in a structure which is rigid, but they are fluid in that rigid structure, which is very, very important. And that's what Enzo Maresca sought to do. To get these boys to run these areas, run the channels, get the players in these zones that are very, very important. And in this case, they are running a friend Marco Correa. Marco Correa coming up from deep. Of course, the ball went out, like I said, the creative output for our Brentford friend Noni Madueke. And I've seen something. In the last few weeks under Enzo Maresca, one of the best forms of chance creation, through, corners, crosses, into Bonico wide and our crossing this animal. And into Pedro Neto is so important to Enzo Maresca. But one thing that's very important, a lot of people have not mentioned, is the fact that what type of corners? Chelsea, the half space cross. Into Bon, the wide area. Touchline on them, Debbie. They bring the ball closer to the box in the half space. Send the player say player on your too physical, on your tall, on your bulky, on your combative kind. He can go on and pounce on side balls if he reads the ball well, the flight to the ball well, and then able to arrive at the right time. And that's exactly the kind of cross that came off the boot of a branch friend in Noni Madueke. Or clippy a ball, no, Asia branch friend, Marco Correa, a very short player. I don't think Correa is even up to 6 feet. On a clippy ball, then Pinnock was right behind him on a passing ball, and Chelsea were up by a good 0. In fact, in the second half of Chelsea ban, it was total control from Chelsea. And then Chelsea control ball up, left, almost pinning Brentford for one back. But still, the opening wasn't coming. In fact, there were balls that went as wide as a Brentford friend, Jadon Sancho. Still, Chelsea could not get the opening. Now Chelsea cut the ball number back beam. Still, Chelsea could not get the opening. And I think that it was really stressful for Chelsea in trying to break down Brentford for them, especially when we're not getting start opening. Into certain point in time, the game now became open. There was a time where Jadon Sancho cut the ball across the face of goal. Nicholas Jackson was a little bit relaxed and calm, ball on a penalty, and then went across the face of goal. So Chelsea had the chances, especially in the second half, pinned Brentford for one back. They were very aggressive against them, held them to it, and it was very important. In fact, Marco Correa in the first half for me was the most outstanding player who here our Chelsea jersey when they press, the counter press, the work rate. See, Marco Correa stands now at the best left back in the world, and even undisputed. Nobody can dispute it. The job Marco Correa does on the ball, off the ball, and how he reads the ball to sustain pressure. My catcher was several times said, Adeyebako is so important in sustaining pressure is counter pressing. So Unya wanna open its edgy film sema. In 6 split seconds, you need to be quick enough to press and counter press, win the ball, and then pin them back. And that's exactly, you see, a trigger that Marco Correa does excellently well. And same for Brentford friend Moises Caicedo. He also led that as well. On it, Marco Correa was so aggressive, win the duel, saw it, time a ball, and they were aggressive going there, win the balls in such area and sustain pressure a lot. And of course, that is how even the goal came about. Winning the ball in that area, going right to Noni Madueke, attacking the half space, and Chelsea got that goal. And like I did say, it was a direct attack from the right hand side, going to Noni Moises Caicedo, exchanging of passes, and then been looking for that, especially with that cross. I think that was an excellent one. And so watch the game we have. Enzo Fernandez rather is playing in the right half space. Say Chelsea are progressive in the first phase of ball progression. Then you have Kopama rider with freedom. Into Kopama floating on the left, on the right. You catch one moment +1 or dropping out Bobby in terms of build up. Enzo Fernandez rather edging up in the right half space. Because I think that Enzo Maresca anticipated say Brentford friend Kopama will be man mark. In terms of side on drop it, on pass it 1-2, on drop you on the shoulder, on exchange passes, wall passes 1 or 2. Sending back consistently, they will stay in the game and then get openings in that regard. It was an important one. Like an in-swinger, like we spoke about, really got a job done. And I like it. I like it. I think that was a very, very good one. Very good display in the first half from team and friend Enzo Fernandez, from team and friend at Chelsea, and what he had to do. Like I did say, in the context of Nianana Ekoso around Chelsea, teams are normal dropping points. When you talk about, team beats Arsenal, team beats Liverpool. It was a game that Chelsea had to go on and win. Now, of course, when the game went on, chances were falling to Chelsea. Like that second goal, Brentford friend Nicolas Jackson, it was a good ball from Enzo Fernandez. And you give me a lot of credit again. Say, ball echo outward. Now Chelsea here will be. He wins the ball in the deeper area again from Brentford friend Marco Correa. Finds the run of Brentford, your friend Nicolas Jackson. Then Nicolas Jackson with a very, very good attempt on goal, drops his shoulder 1-2 ahead of Pinnock, then slides it through. And at Chelsea, they managed to get 2-0. And I think that was a very, very good one for them. The foul on Kukurea is more than a goal, and I can't explain it over them. Caicedo, I think the quality on the ball is top notch. A lot of people do not understand how good our Brentford friend Moises Caicedo. And of course, when Brian Mbeumo the goal, now it was down to how Chelsea can manage the game. Chelsea to manage the game, how Chelsea can go on, recycle play, sustain pressure, hold on to the playing keep ball essentially. And I think that generally, you want to give a lot of credit to our Brentford friend Enzo Maresca. He has done such a brilliant job where he picked the Chelsea team from and then playing in very tough games with CHELSEA. Now after game, Chelsea are just 2 points ahead of below Liverpool. And when you're able to pick up a team that plays in a very solid structure like this, that sustains pressure, that gets wins constantly, even against the most difficult of teams. And may me say, the most difficult middle table crowd to play against, and Nottingham Forest, it is Brentford. And Chelsea went in there, sustained pressure, beat Brentford with you by 2-1. And a game that was very, 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 very difficult one over there. Like I did say, CHELSEA, Enzo Fernandez ball on Caicedo the winning ball, found Enzo Fernandez in the zones over there. Then the bike and the job of a Brentford, your friend Nicolas Jackson, taking on a Brentford friend Pinnock, 1v1, shutting inside and out, and then striking as goal. That's exactly what Chelsea needed in terms of the cushion and no. They will stay in the conversation. Meaning, Brentford, Chelsea in the title race. Like I did say, Chelsea are not in any title race. And I'm afraid poco, step by step. There is no need for Chelsea to rush and be in any title race conversation. But be at Chelsea down. After you started conversation when you Shinya League. Liverpool more airdrop a point. Arsenal airdrop a point. So Chelsea to maintain possession. Stake now it will make a lot of sense. Then the funny thing is that before the game started, there was John Mikel Obi in the tunnel with Chelsea owners Baghdad Gbali, and I'm sure say he will be telling him say, yeah, and someone now kick a fire home. Our podcast, no, so yes, sure, you need to be careful. Say the positive things for us because we are really, really doing a good job. I say it should not be like that. Yeah, Juma Pa, because they would love to say some things to him so that he will say some positive stuff. Chelsea were brilliant against Brentford. Another huge test. And of course, another weekend of Enzo Maresca. And for me, I think that he's solid. Going into Samachi, yes, it was a difficult game. We all believe the Chelsea beat winning, but we also agreed that it was a banana skate game. Away from that as well, we also did mention says a game now. Chelsea players we said Lavia, Benoit Belachile, I don't know City in for Brentford friend, Wesley Fofana, no Nuni Honum, and then other ones now. So many there then was going to be difficult for Chelsea. But Chelsea went into it, calmed down the game, dictated the pace of the game, imposed themselves on match and so, and then got the super results that he so wanted. And then like Mikhail, almost everybody everywhere in the UK, wherever, is having conversations that Chelsea can go on and then win the league. Like I did say, there is no rush for such conversation. And Chelsea are building a very, very strong team. I think that Chelsea can go on and compete as it stands now. You can't particularly see Cincinnati and Chelsea everything at the league. See, I can say our league, and there are some good stuff. Moments after full-time whistle blows, Marco Correa and your second yellow card. Wow, Marco Correa. Right after say full-time and Marco Correa and a yellow card over there. I think that one person also deserves a lot of credit. Our Brentford friend Robert Sanchez. He was excellent in that regard. There was a time Nat Jackson was struggling against Brentford, deep block where to receive the ball, how to get him and as soon as say Omunya super aggressive, then of course Jackson and like I did say around that time I gave me an opener Brentford for Robert Sanchez, he collects and the less spaces. And that's the thing. Once you leave spaces in the channels, Nicolas Jackson will hurt you. I still think Chelsea in here, a box striker, more elite or boxing for him to try and do damage. Osimhen Jackson will be a team and with better depth and more than in the wall. And that's exactly what you need from Wabrantia team and friend Chelsea. Moise Caicedo intercepts Nicolas Mesa. Solid display for Wabrantia friend Moise Caicedo being. And again, like I did mention at the beginning of the video, the job tossing Adra was solid. He won almost every duel in the air, offensively and defensively, against one of the best aerial teams in the league. Of course, that was a solid performance from Brentford friend tossing Adra, and you need to give him a lot of credit there. Brentford were getting very aggressive, opening up the game in the later parts of the game, and that's where the openings also did come for Brentford, your friend of Chelsea, for them to go in and get that all important win for Abrantia, your friend of Chelsea, and then Nicolas Jackson. Quality display over there. And of course, it came from the two boys. All of the wingers did a job over there for Abrantia, your friend of Jadon Sancho and Noni Madueke. It was spot on in that regard, and you give them a lot of credit for that regard. Of course, we've had a lot of analysis today. We had a lot of conversation about Samsung, Nicolas Jackson, consistently inconsistent. That's what people are saying about Nicolas Jackson. Caicedo is a joke, top player over there. Sancho has both South London confidence again, and he's playing some solid football for Abrantia, friend Jadon Sancho, playing some good stuff around him. Of course, this is where we join the curtain on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Michelle, subscribe to the channel and turn notification if you've not. Take care. Bye-bye.